We're live for real now. So just ignore the last 3 minutes and 25 seconds.
That babbling.
Jesus.
Do we sound good?
Y'all ain't even get to hear the beats.
We got 3 people in the chat.
Y'all ain't even get to hear the beats.
Like this
up. I'm hurt, dog. Like
I'm
actually
hurt.
hurt.
You'll have to run it back around next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna run it back eventually. I'm gonna just click it again. Yeah, all the beats are made by yours truly. So yeah,
next time,
self-promotion.
Next time when we run it back around, I'll just have it to where you can just close this. So you can see that. Yeah. And then you could just use my wireless mic.
Look, dog, I was tripping. I'm thinking like, yo, I can't hear myself.
My wireless mouse.
Yeah. I'm like, why can't I hear myself? What am I doing? Oh yeah, hit the button, stupid. Yeah, So
is it too loud? Is the audio, the music too loud?
Bro, who hit the thumbs down?
Hold thumbs down.
Did we get thumbs down? Did we get a thumbs down?
Oh no, I can't see it.
Gee, we can't.
That's okay. We love it.
We only see the likes.
No, I love it.
Because we're awesome. That was a cop out. But anyway, today is going to be about, stress. Which is a very general topic, but at the same time, dang, you really can't see this? Oh, dang. We got 2 dislikes. Hold up. I think you accidentally hit dislike. Okay, now there's 1 dislike. Oh no, I guess they disliked it because nothing happened.
Possibly, I don't know.
Oh dang, I feel bad. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, we got 4 people in here.
How y'all doing? Like the video. Somebody gave us a dislike, but that ain't gonna stop us.
Yeah, I mean, if you gave it dislike, at least tell us why. If it's because of the no sound thing, I do apologize. I'm doing the most right now.
What's up, Kiki? How you be?
Oh, also, just to reiterate what I said when we didn't have mic sound, the reason we changed locations today is because my grandparents are one is currently in the hospital, the other one is currently getting physical therapy. So where we are now is closer to them and easier for me to get to them more specifically than where we would be before.
Nah.
Okay. So somebody retracted the dislike. I wonder who disliked. See, different acting. Anyway, just let us know. Do we sound good? Are we overpowering the background sound, or is the background sound overpowering us? What's going on? Or is it all pretty balanced?
Let us know.
Yeah. We need to know.
We just getting folks in right now.
Yeah, and this is the first time we did it with the surround sounds. We gotta know what's up. I feel like it sounds better. I feel like it would sound better. Background loud to me personally. Okay. Tristan said balance. I'll turn it down 1 bit. There we go. So I turned it down 1 peg. We'll see how that works.
Does it sound better now?
Yeah, it's down a little bit, so maybe it's a little bit easier now. I don't know. But all right, what's up, Tristan? What's good, man? Thank you for always chiming in and making sure, we don't sound like crap. I appreciate that.
Bro, what's showing up right here?
Oh,
looks like it's an.
Oh, that's the freaking Let me fix that. That thing's always up for like no reason because nothing is bothering it. I think it's just there now.
Is that part of the? It's not part of the wallpaper, is it?
No, it's just like that. It's just literally not. It's tripping. So
have you went in and
activated Windows?
Yeah.
No.
It shouldn't even be saying that.
Apparently not. So I don't know. It's just wild.
Yes. Y'all, tonight's episode is about stress.
Stress. It's more hood variant with the K. Stress. Personally, because of a lot of the aforementioned stuff, I'm not gonna go into detail because I feel like certain things should be private, especially certainly family matters. I've been experiencing more or less the epitome of this particular subject for like the better part of 2 weeks. It hasn't really hit for real until about yesterday and some parts of today. But yeah, man. It's been a trying time, bro. I mean, it's been crazy. So
new person.
Look, with that being said,
make sure y'all liking the video.
Yes, most definitely.
Please and thank you.
We got 5 people. We should have 5 likes. Show the love. Show the love. Let us know who you are so we can tell you what's up, and we can give you your due respect and invite you in. Look, I was raised old school. Whenever somebody come in the house, they acknowledge themselves. We say hi to them. They say hi to us.
You don't come into no room and not speak.
Yeah, look, we validate you. We validate you. So we want to validate your presence. We want to greet you properly. You know what I'm saying? Even if you just hit a thumbs up, you ain't gotta. We're not gonna force you to interact or anything, but just to hit a thumbs up so we know you're here. That's really all. Cause we want y'all gonna be like family to us, especially y'all main ones that are starting out now. Y'all gonna be like our little family. So we want to establish a familial and a familiar relationship with y'all. We want y'all to, feel like y'all can talk to us, and vice versa. We want to talk about what y'all want to talk about. So as a result, y'all got to feel comfortable enough to talk to us. You know what I'm saying?
Hope everybody's had a good week.
Right.
If you've had a week full of stress,
let us know.
We're going to talk about it tonight.
Look, today, today
is your day.
Look, it's a safe space here. It's a safe space here for you to talk about any craziness or wildness that had happened to you. Even if it was today or yesterday, something you're anticipating for tomorrow, because tomorrow's Friday. Let us know. Let us know, man. Look, we want to talk about it. We want to have help. We have some stresses that we need to get out the way and help each other with. We want to help y'all out. Maybe y'all can help us.
Facts.
It's a family thing. It's a family thing.
Man, I got some stuff for y'all tonight.
Boy, look.
For those of y'all who ain't already heard, at least.
Right.
We got a few announcements and stuff too.
That we do.
I'm gonna run through real quick while Nero's getting his stuff together on his end. Yes. Basically, y'all, for those of y'all who live in the Evansville, Indiana area, tomorrow is First Fridays, and out there on Judson and Washington, right?
I believe so.
For those of y'all who stay tuned to us on Facebook and Instagram, myself and Nero, along with various artists, more so the other artists than us, participated in constructing a visual exhibit, which was basically a structure. Mm-hmm. All right. It was called Jerry's Corner Market. Those of y'all who remember, you do. Y'all know what it is. But for those of y'all who don't, basically various artists throughout the community who we are also aligned with, painted various pictures regarding Black History Month and Black excellence and Black empowerment. It was all based off a book called All American Boys. Yep. And basically, this structure sat at the corner of Washington and Judson, out there right before you hit the art district where First Fridays and Haynes Corner and all of that type of stuff is traditionally showcased. And so tomorrow, they're going to be doing First Fridays over there off the corner of, I think it's Judson and Washington. And I myself, I will be out there.
Yeah, if it's the same location as the actual exhibit,
I'm pretty sure.
Then that's
Nero as well will be out there. Yeah. We'll be trying to put that stuff on social media as well, so y'all can stay in the loop regarding that too. There will be plenty of stuff to purchase. So if you want to support small and up and coming businesses and stuff, definitely this is the space to do that. We might even have a little auction of sorts coming up as well regarding the artwork and stuff from that same exhibit. If you haven't seen any of the pictures or anything, we got it on social media. All you got to do is go to my Instagram. For those of y'all who don't know, is the Dark Skin Poet. That's dark skin with a G on the end.
Yes, indeed.
Right on Instagram. You can see some of the pictures and stuff that I posted from that. Mm-hmm. It's probably going to be in my events section under the highlights. I'll try to add some stuff to my story as well. Mm-hmm. Also, June is a very busy month for both of us as artists, as just people in general. And with that, Juneteenth is going to be very big. There's a Juneteenth celebration going on right off Riverside, right across Catacorner from R&K gas station. For those of y'all who are in the Evansville, Indiana area, there's going to be plenty of food, plenty of Black-owned business, entrepreneurship, plenty of booths. You know what I'm saying? Last year was pretty good. It was pretty successful. We had performers. I myself was one of the people who spoke, as well as there were several different businesses out there selling everything from T-shirts, books. Habitat for Humanity was out there. It was a lot of people out there. A lot of the community came out. I even saw some of my own personal friends. If you live in the area, once again, Evansville, Indiana, definitely come on out. There's going to be plenty of food. It's summertime. You know you want to get out because the pandemic is coming to an end, slowly but surely. Please still bring a mask, whether you're vaccinated or not. Don't take that chance, because I'm not.
We ain't out here like that.
Also, later on that evening, there's going to be a special Evansville Otters game that's going to be honoring the 100-year anniversary of the Negro League baseball era.
We have free
tickets. For those of y'all who know,
if you need them.
You know. Yeah, we got free tickets. I got plenty of these. All you got to do is hit me up. Come see me.
Yeah, me as well.
You know what I'm saying? If you know where I work, you can hit up where I work. I'm not putting that information out there.
Nope.
But if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you see me or you have any questions regarding this, just hit my line. The game starts at around 6:35 p.m. So if you like baseball, that's another reason to come out. I will also be there as well. I ain't been to a baseball game in a few years. Last game I was at, it was Cubs versus the Oakland A's at Wrigley Field in Chicago. If you know, you know.
Right.
You can also contact the Evansville African American Museum. They are also co-sponsoring and organizing this event in conjunction with the Evansville Otters. The more the community, the better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
How y'all doing tonight, though?
For real. We want to know how y'all feeling. I mean, this is literally about stress.
Consider this a check-in as well. You know what I'm saying? We doing all of that.
We'll probably be doing something of a check-in in the pod as well. Just because of the particular subject matter.
Yeah, because everybody going through something. So
yes, indeed.
But yeah, definitely share this, y'all. We got 3 people in here. Some folk didn't want to hear the announcements, but that's okay. We about to get popping on it in a minute.
Yep.
Be patient with us.
Yep. We don't get the popping.
We're going to give it a few more minutes, and then we're going to get into it.
Right.
Share this with your friends, your family, anybody who might even need to vent in the comment section.
For real.
It's there for that. It's there for that. Talk your talk.
For real. I mean, we don't censor around here. At least not within reason.
Nah.
Not within reason.
Fuck cancel culture.
Yeah, we don't. We actually made a pod about it.
I can comfortably say that.
Yeah, because we ain't monetized yet. You can say what you want.
I can say what
I want. I can say what I want now. I'm not monetized yet, you know.
Yeah, I ain't making no money off this. I'm broke as hell.
Right. We ain't got them type of problems right now.
No. Yeah.
I mean, don't skip out our video, YouTube. I mean, we still real. We still cool.
Right.
You know, I'm just saying, we just don't really have to do all that because we don't have sponsorships and stuff like that.
Not yet, at least. We're working on it.
We gonna start getting our advertising game up. If y'all have businesses, local Black businesses especially preferred, that y'all do want to advertise through the Black in a Minute podcast, please hit us up. We will hit you with the rates depending on what you want.
Yes.
And we can get that handled.
Anybody looking to do any serious networking, for real, the link is pinned to the top of the chat.
Yes, sir.
You can also check the channel description and anything like that. If you're looking for information regarding contacting us, if you're looking for information regarding funding the Black in a Minute podcast,
yes, indeed.
Ads, collaborations, any of that kind of stuff. The T-shirts that are coming soon is all going to be available through going to that link.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The 30 minute or less podcast. That's for those of y'all who busy and got stuff to do and ain't got all time to be looking at us. We got that version for you as well.
Right.
And you still getting a good flavor of what we bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know? You about ready to do this thing?
I'm just one trip to the restroom just to make sure.
This dude.
Leave me alone, dog. I like to make sure I'm good. Don't be clowning me in the comments till I get back. So I can respond. You know what I'm saying? We ain't with that bacon.
Hey, somebody roast this man. Somebody roast this man for not having his bathroom shit taken care of before the live stream, nigga! And I can yell like this because we in my place and ain't nobody gonna say shit. But anyway, I hope y'all doing good tonight. What's going on with y'all? Somebody talk to me. I tell you, Rock said, talk to me nice. What's going on? What's up with it? Who's in here with me? Say we got 3 people in here. What y'all doing? Y'all just looking at the video? Y'all just got it in the background playing? Being slick? Dude. Man. Shoot, man. We got so much good stuff coming for y'all in the month of June. It is about to be crazy. Events, merchandise, big announcements. Some stuff I can't talk on just yet. But just know, watch this space. It's going to be pretty nice. I guess y'all just spectating. I'm cool with that, but join in the discussion. What do you define as stress? We're going to give y'all the textbook definition because we got to have a baseline. But I'm always curious as to people's opinions when it comes to words, especially because I write. You know what I'm saying? So what is stress to y'all? I'm also going to type that in the chat too, so don't worry about it. But what is stress to y'all? I'm curious. If somebody asks you to define that, what does that mean to y'all? I was eating, sir. That's fine. Did you lick your fingers though? Because if it wasn't finger licking good, eating ain't a good excuse. I'm sorry.
I was about to be real confused about why you said licking fingers, dog. I popped in on the whole.
That's what happened when you use the restroom after the live stream.
Leave me alone, bro. Why you coming at me, dog? Just trying to get my life together and make certain that I am performing at optimal efficiency for our peoples, you know? I'm just making sure. Let me see. Let me shoot this thing.
What was you eating though? You still ain't answered that.
Right.
You got some wings.
Some was good.
Shaky.
Lamb pepper wine.
You got some Quaker grits. What you eating?
Bro, get on. What's so done with you? You said Quaker grits. I need your grit money. Give me your grit money. I need the grits. Give me the grits. Let me know if you have the grits. We have the meats. Do you have the grits?
Did you just combine the Arby's commercial
I did.
with some whole other shit?
I did.
Bruh.
No judgment zone. I do what I want. I do what I want when I want to. I do what I want when I want to.
What's got y'all stressed, man? I want somebody engage.
Right.
Somebody engage.
Look, y'all gonna start hearing random stuff if you don't.
what does stress mean to y'all? That's the question. What does stress mean to y'all? What is stress for y'all?
What does stress mean to you?
Not a specific situation just yet. But if somebody were to ask you to define that, what do you define that as?
Right. We're gonna start out vague and broad, and then we'll go from there.
I think individual definitions are always interesting. Yeah. Just for the sake of different perspectives. Because, it's interesting how we can have a set definition for a word, in this case stress,
Right.
but perceive it to be different things. And I think we have very interesting forward-moving conversations when people do talk about their perspectives.
Right.
And of course, this is a safe space, which means what? We can
You said
agree,
we can agree,
or we can disagree.
but we will give you.
Respectfully.
But we will give you your due respect regardless. That's just the way that is. That's a rule here. We don't disrespect folks for their opinions. That's just what that is. Yeah. Let me see.
But yeah, we about 25 minutes up in this thing, so we need to get this. We need to get the show on the road.
Yep.
Whoa. Oh.
We desire some responses.
Okay. Kiki said, stress to me would be like me feeling pressured or trying to overextend myself, like trying to be in two places at once.
You
Okay.
ain't said nothing but a word, bro.
Okay. I like that.
There's been a few days that I felt like that.
Pressure, overextend.
Yes.
I like that.
I like the phrase. There's a phrase that I like that people say: pressure builds diamonds. Pressure makes diamonds. or
You know,
something
I
like that.
wrote a poem. I wrote a poem regarding that, and what I said was, you know, pressure turns coal into diamonds, but also pressure busts pipes.
Yes, indeed. And that's the dichotomy that exists with that.
Mm-hmm.
It goes both ways. It could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. The important part is there is a good version of stress. There is a good type of stress that pushes you in the direction to do things and it gives you a sense of urgency in order to get certain things done. Because sometimes we don't have that. Sometimes we need that, right? So with that being said, that type of stress is good. But when it's the type of stress to where you feel it feels debilitating, it feels like it's overwhelming you, like it's overpowering you, that's not a good type of stress. That's the type of stress that's going to cause you to break down, could potentially cause you to fall into depression, into despondency, brokenness, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. My whole... Oh, and it was a Philly steak.
All right. That's nice.
See my eyes? I'm blinking heavily, fast. All right.
She said
I
fast.
thought you was gonna say like, no, that steak ain't how you stress.
Stress. Stress.
When you start adding the KRs.
I
into
told
the words.
you that's the hood baby version of stress. That's even
Man,
worse.
Let me
That's
tell
a
you,
variant. It's a different strain.
my definition of stress is pretty similar to Kiki's. I try to in a lot of situations where I may feel stressed, I try to turn things into games and challenges.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if I put it in a frame of mind where I'm trying to like beat this thing or win it, I get through the stress.
Okay.
But that pressure and overextension,
Right.
as you alluded to, Kiki, it's like, you know, there's certain situations where it's like, man, I think where it definitely becomes problematic and negative, at least in the way that people typically view stress, because most people view it as a hyper negative,
Right.
not a positive, even though it's another one of those terms where it definitely lives in neutral world. Work. This past weekend, for many reasons, work for me was just like, ugh. And I know some of y'all are like, it's work. Yeah, but you know, we all have those days where work is relatively smooth, and most of the time it's like, it's routine. So it's just, you know, consistent. It's the same. But those days where Muzz be trying you, or you got something like specific that you got to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my case, you know, some of what I do is troubleshoot and repair. So besides just dealing with regular people stress,
Right.
there's then the stress of repair and restoration, and you know, when you have to fix something,
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to do with a person. So, like, one of the stressful things I dealt with over the weekend was we had like this sale on something. And the sale, it was basically a liquidation sale. And a customer ordered 2,000 of this particular item. 2,000, bruh. 2,000. And I was the only person available to go fetch this 2,000 quantity of this item.
Jesus.
And this item was in boxes of 20. All right?
That's crazy.
So I need y'all to know. We're not even about to do the math. It's simple math. You can figure it out how many boxes that was.
It's 200 boxes, bro.
Yes. And I had to transfer it from a pallet onto a flatbed.
That's insane.
And of course, all of it doesn't fit on one flatbed. So it was 2 flatbeds full.
Because you know,
them mugs was heavy.
Boy. And you was the only one doing it?
Bruh. Initially, I was the only one who did it.
He did not contribute.
I made other people contribute afterwards to get it done quicker.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting.
But,
you got powers like that. You can do that. I don't got them type of powers. I just yell at folk. I just either yell at folk or I just ignore them.
But yeah, man, like
that's what my special power is. Yelling and ignoring people.
A lot of times when I really think of stress, I think of the word strenuous, right? And so, like, for me, I'm just like, man, I am doing a lot. Like Kiki said, that overexertion.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm getting hot. I got this damn mask on.
Right.
You know, I'm just like, man,
it's fun.
This ain't it right now.
It's great. And look, you got to think in your head, everything gonna be fine. Like,
also, it was an order, y'all. So, like, the order had to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So there's that whole part of it. You have to do it in a certain amount of time. Right. There's actually a time on those type of things too.
Right. And if
I got to do it in a certain amount of time, and it's a lot to do.
Yeah.
And I know
if you don't fulfill that, then they have issues, they have problems. They're gonna bring those concerns either to you or to one of your superiors.
There was more stuff after the fact of that part, but you know, I'm just giving a work example, y'all.
Right.
Work examples are easy for us to dig from,
exceedingly.
But at least with y'all, to feel mentally depleted. Yes. I'm glad you said that because that perfectly helps me segue into what I'm really wanting to ask. Right. I want y'all to talk about stress that does not come from work. Let's talk about the stress that you deal with at home. We ain't got to get too specific because I mean, you know, y'all business is y'all business.
I don't start sharing your life.
Nah, I don't.
Experiences.
If you're going through a breakup, I don't need to know that information unless you just feel comfortable telling that.
Look,
you know, if you're having other kind of issues out here, look, whatever y'all feel comfortable sharing. I want to know, like, tell me about something that stressed y'all out this week. Come on now. Even if it was small, what's going on? What's going on with everybody?
Right. It can be something simple.
It could be because personal situations.
Honestly, everybody has a different level of stress that they can withstand.
True. Facts.
And it's totally valid for you to feel however you feel about that level of stress because it affects you in a certain way. And you can't unaffect yourself when you're affected. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If something make you mad, you can't just deactivate that.
Right.
There's a
I'm not mad anymore.
It was a process to get you to that point of frustration. It's going to be a process to get you out of that point of frustration. It's not something you can just turn off. And that's why I try to tell folk, like, because some people don't understand that concept of, like, when you're mad and you're frustrated and they're like, well, it doesn't make sense. Why don't you just not be mad? It's like, it doesn't work that way. It takes time to work that out of you like any emotion. Okay, work. Yes. New customers that don't have stuff together even after I've explained what they need. Look, you ain't said nothing but the gospel truth. Because that is nauseating. That is truly nauseating. Because then you got to break it down to them 5 times just for them to get mad at you because you basically regurgitated a negative version of what they told you. or they regurgitated the negative version of what you told them, and you reaffirmed it because it is indeed the truth. I mean, you can't lie to them at this point, so they just mad.
I had that happen like through a phone conversation. A woman asked me over the phone a very broad question and got mad because I didn't give a direct answer. And she's like, "Oh, so you're just not gonna tell me?" I was like, "Well, the thing is," and then she hung up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, work stressors are built in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're kind of just built in.
It's been a fun thing working through this pandemic, I will say what. Because some stuff that people have been frustrated about, because people have been freaking out over everything. We had a situation where somebody wanted an item transferred from one store to our store.
Those are fun.
Yeah. And they were saying, well, why does it take this and this and this and they won't do this? I'm like, well, I'm just guessing, speculating here. But I'm like, maybe because this was early in the pandemic. This was like first year. This was about month 2 or 3, if that. I said, well, likely because of that, they don't want to get everything.
Oh, hold up. Number shot up. We have 5. Cara, I'm late to the party, but I'm here.
Well,
how you doing, girl? We talking about stress.
Yes. Of all kinds.
Of all kinds. And we started with talking about work stressors. Those are easy conversations to have.
Yeah.
Because those kind of stresses are built in. But what about at home?
Right.
Once y'all leave work, because if y'all in a healthy mind space, and if you're not, please practice this. Please leave that work shit at work, unless the type of job you do, which is not a lot of us, requires you to then continue your work at home. Leave that shit at work.
Yeah.
Please.
Now, if you got to get it off your chest, get it off your chest. But once you've done that.
And if you want to get it off your chest in the chat, do it.
Yeah.
That's what we talking about tonight.
If you got to get it off your chest, get it off your chest. But once it's off, leave it.
Yeah.
Leave it where it's at.
Yeah.
You don't pick up a burden and drop it off and then come back and get it.
This is a bottomless bucket. You drop it in here, it ain't coming out.
Nope. We ain't gonna run around telling everybody, oh well, such and such on the internet said this and such on the internet said that. Man, they crazy. We don't do that.
Nah, hopefully y'all ain't up in here with coworkers. That would be interesting though. But yeah, welcome to the stream.
Look, if your coworkers is in here, then they already know what they are complicit of and what they are not complicit of.
If you're just now joining us, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Mindset.
Yes, look.
They don't pay me when I'm off that clock.
Preach
Come on.
that. Preach
They don't
that.
pay you to be stressed out.
You don't. They don't. They pay you to exist and do a job. And then cease to exist when you're not there. And that's just what that is.
The company exists without you.
Absolutely. And it will
They will replace you.
And even when they curl up and die, you will still be here. Hopefully. Lord willing. You know what I'm saying?
But
I mean, that's just what it is.
Has anybody been stressed here lately? I'm not talking about work stress. I'm talking about everything else.
Yeah. Has anything been bugging y'all to where you feel off your square? Maybe
that you
not
feel stressed about, not pissed about.
Right.
We're not necessarily looking for rants.
No.
But things that have been stressed. Like what's been a stress of yours?
Stuff that you feel like you can't get past. It don't even have to necessarily be something you would label as stress, but something that you label as just something that's just eating at you. It's irritating you, because some things irritate us and we just can't let go of it. It doesn't outright piss us off. It doesn't outright, make us like go full rage mode, but it does linger on our minds and it hangs on us. It sticks to you like a bad itch. You don't want to deal with all that. You gotta let that stuff go.
True.
You have to let that stuff go. I have that parenting stress, girl.
Oh, can't relate.
Well,
I don't have any children.
He said that so quick.
I'm just being honest.
I know, but it's the
feel
way.
For you. I have no kids yet.
It's the face.
Want some in the future.
It's the face you made, bro. You was just like, dang, dog, that's rough.
Yeah, shit.
Babies pop out every day, but he like, dang, son. I'm just messing with you. But
I mean,
I'm just stirring the pot. Don't mind me.
When you say that parenting stress, and you can be as broad or as specific as you want.
Elaborate to some of us that ain't got babies.
Yeah, like what is there anything specific, or are you just talking about overall just raising kids?
Right.
Or is there a specific thing that's happening right now that maybe really kicks your ass?
Yeah,
if you will.
Right. Look, enlighten us who don't got babies.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell, we gonna learn at some point.
Right.
At some point, we all get that education if we ever decide to take that road.
Okay, my child is autistic, and the system is not designed for him.
Oof.
Woo.
Yeah, that's a rough road.
Man, that's a whole.
There was a lady who used to go to my church whose her first son was autistic.
That's a whole nother
ball game
thing. That's a whole nother subject of conversation.
Yeah. But this lady, fortunately she studied that sort of stuff. So when her child ended up being autistic, having autism, she was able to teach her husband and her mother, and the other parents that were going to be around him how to deal with that, how to mitigate certain things, and how to help him to be more verbal and stuff like that. So it was an easier process because she was already in the process of learning a lot of this stuff in college.
Cara, just out of curiosity, is your child in public school?
Or is he homeschooled?
Because, I know enough to know public school is definitely trash when it comes to
specific
mental disabilities and mental illness.
Really specific needs in general. If it's something that's like a very specific need, they don't address it to the same level.
The public school system isn't really designed to accommodate in that regard.
No, it's a factory system.
It's a mass. Yeah, it's a mass one size fits all kind of approach. I pulled him out of public school, and he's a full-time ABA therapy.
Okay.
Hopefully you're seeing some better results from that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you seen improvement from that? Has he become more verbal? Actually, a better question is he high functioning is he high functioning socially, or is he high functioning technically? Because I know it kind of goes both ways. Usually they're higher functioning on one aspect, on one spectrum, and lower functioning on another one. I don't want to make any assumptions because I know it goes both ways. Some children with autism are very social, but just have difficulty learning. Others are phenomenal when it comes to book learning, and they're just not very social.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very interesting subject. It's actually very, very, very intriguing.
Thank you for sharing this with us as well.
For real.
I appreciate the courage.
Absolutely, because that...
And the transparency.
Man, that takes a lot. I know that takes a lot. It takes a lot to raise a child in general. A child who does have specific needs that
we got 4 people in this stream,
and they're not. Yeah, and hey, let's get them likes up. But a child that has very specific needs that your typical school system does not readily address. Yeah, that's rough.
He is nonverbal, but not social. He learns easily, but the issue of mocking his peers' behavior. Let me tell you something. Okay. I'm gonna give you a little anecdote about myself. For the first few years of my life, I was very nonverbal. I hardly spoke, and it wasn't, at least for me, in my case, in this particular instance, it wasn't because I couldn't talk. It definitely had nothing to do with an inability to.
Right.
But for me, when it came to social interactions, the best way I like to describe it is I was people watching.
Okay.
And I was just taking in what I was witnessing, you know what I'm saying? And I just didn't really gravitate to much of what was around me. And so a lot of that probably, literally correlated with the environment of which I was in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You just preferred to be a spectator instead of a participant.
More
or less.
Yeah, there was other things too. There was stressors.
Well, yeah, naturally.
That contributed to that behavior. So, environment. A lot of people sleep on the type of influence an environment can have on people's psyche and their personal behavior
That is true.
around other people. Environment really is underrated when people have any kind of conversations rooted in behavior.
That's true. Like me as a child, I was actually virtually the opposite. I was very social as a child. And initially, I was a good conversationalist. I had a very good understanding of language. I talked better to adults than I did to children. A lot of that was because I was raised around a lot of adults. I was raised around my grandparents. I was raised around a lot of older men and women. And like you, in situations like that, I would sit and observe and listen and you know, take in a lot of that knowledge and take in a lot of their mannerisms, the way they carried themselves. You know, I did a lot of emulation of the father figures around me. You know, my grandmother used to say to me and my granddaddy would walk together and we walked the same. You know, we were two peas in a pie, you know what I'm saying? So, but with me, I was initially very verbal, very outgoing, very extroverted, very open. The school system for me, one of the failings it had, and really just not necessarily the system itself, but the way that the children were, the way that other people were, that I was around, and the ways the situation would happen, I got pushed into a situation, into the scenario of being introverted. I didn't start out introverted. I was very extroverted as a child. As I got older, the insecurities started kicking in. The need to just be away started kicking in. I started realizing I had what I like to call a social battery, and that it dies quickly if things aren't going the way that they're supposed to go.
Kara said something. She said his main issue was he was in life skills class, which is a 15 special needs kids from kindergarten to 5th in one classroom with only 3 teachers. He was getting lost in the mix.
So he was kind of just a number at that point. Okay. That makes sense. That does make sense, because it's kind of hard to try to, it's one thing if you're trying to manage 5 kids, a teacher, and they're all more or less on the same level in terms of how they learn, how they develop, how they process, and how they get information. If you got 5 different kids, 5 different personalities, and 5 different forms of learning and approaches you have to take with them, that's a lot to put on one teacher.
Yeah, I used to I've had the privilege of not having any type of formal education in any field related to mental health, but I've not only do I have my own issues that I personally suffer from, I've also worked in a child development center where I've dealt with, children that are
that's a learning experience all by itself.
Yeah, man, it is. That may be suffering from something, as well as I worked in a mental hospital for a period of time too, as well. So I've gotten to see it firsthand through direct interaction with both 3 and 4 year olds, as well as 18, 25, 45, 50, 60 year old people as well. And it's so interesting, and you really get to see like the extent of what the current resources are,
right,
for the most part, and the severity of what the issue is, and how underserviced not just those people are, but all of the people who don't get to be in those programs, who don't get to be in those institutions, all of the people walking on the street, and even people you may deal with at work and or yourself that are suffering from these kind of different things day in and day out. And you don't even know in most cases, unless you're somebody that's been in that space and or you suffer. A lot of times you don't even catch it. Like for me, it's to the point now where I can, because I've had all those different points of contact, I can see it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just know it, and I'm just like, damn.
And
that's why.
And one of the big things about it is that even with children who have what I would consider learning advantages, because in a way I was kind of thrown in that box. I skipped a grade when I skipped kindergarten when I got into school. You know, I got moved up. As a result of that, I always had the caveat of thinking older but being younger. You know what I'm saying? I was always, my mentality throughout school and everything was always a bit ahead. Was always a bit ahead of certain things. And I always thought about things differently. I always approached things differently. And as a result, that did cause a rift, you know, between me and other kids. It got to the point where I wouldn't tell them my age, so that way I wouldn't have to deal with the stigma of, well, you're still young. You know what I mean? Let's see. Luckily, the stress is manageable because I will always advocate for him and make those paths for change. And we appreciate you for being that type of parent.
Kiki also said something. I feel like we all need to take and have mental breaks from school, from work, etc. Like to go hit the reset button and regroup and gather ourselves. Definitely.
Agreed.
Of course.
Agreed.
Man, you know, listen, a lot of people make fun of like shit like meditation and deep breathing and stuff.
Look,
but for the people that it works for, it works. People are
Right.
doing yoga. People, you know, just people are exercising. That's what a lot of, especially if you ain't never really been like that person or in that culture of like working out and exercise,
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people get from it.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, it may feel like it's hard and it's painful, but what it actually does for a lot of people,
You're getting
it
that
de-stresses them.
Because you're working that energy out of you. Sitting in your car with the music playing, hashtag in my zone. Exactly. For me, sometimes I just play, like I play piano, so sometimes I just do that. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I just play something. And I'll do that for like 20 minutes to an hour, and it helps me think. It helps me focus. It helps me vibe. Shoot. I play Bob Ross videos when I'm driving so I can keep my road rage down. It helps a little bit. You know, everybody has their way of de-stressing because everybody has their own version of stress.
Yeah.
As long as you're not doing something to harm yourself or to harm others, there isn't anything wrong with choosing a specific avenue or a particular avenue of stress relief.
Welcome to the live stream. If you're watching and you have not subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button. Give us some likes, please, and thank you.
Yes, because YouTube likes it when we do that, and that makes them think we're cool. And if we make them think we're cool, we'll get this much closer to getting monetized. But
yes.
while we're not monetized,
y'all.
we can do whatever we want. We can talk all the stuff we want.
Yeah.
Hey, we got an extra like. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
But
love you.
But for real, we can talk about whatever we want. We're not monetized yet. I just knocked my headphones out.
Right.
But like
at that point, we might actually then have to switch to Patreon because they might try to cancel us.
Yeah.
But until then,
we're uncancelable. Until I play a Mario sample and I get sent an email.
Carla, thanks again for sharing.
Yeah, that's dope. That's really dope.
Really appreciate it. Gave us some further insight into the type of stress that you do with as well. Look, I'm giggling because you hit that little emoji.
Right. Look, hey, because for real, that's something that a lot of us don't know about, especially not firsthand. You know?
a lot of people can't relate, at least in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole different road pathway, you know.
Is there anybody else? I mean, you don't have to be as forthcoming. Look, I feel like I'm pastor at the church right now. Is there anybody else out there? Is there anybody else out there? Won't you come on down?
God wants a yes. I ain't gonna say something.
I am extending my hand. The Lord is extending his hand to you.
Look, that's more valid than you think. But
I know. Listen,
look, it's funny that he's doing that, but I'm the one
he's the one that should be doing it. But
look, I'm the
what y'all going through? Are y'all going through anything that y'all care to share? Because if not, right, if nobody else has anything to share,
I mean, we can
if y'all good, if y'all that good, because this is a safe space,
right?
Then I do want y'all to contribute in terms of sharing useful tips. Because we got to talk about that de-stress, baby.
Yeah.
We got to.
You got to get yourself right. And people always say that I handle it well. Stress is my motivation. Okay.
I can do my yells. I can do my yells.
We like that.
I like
that. Okay.
That's how I feel, Cara, that's how I feel. Because I turn that shit into a game. That shit becomes a challenge.
Right.
And I don't like losing.
And there you go. For me, it depends. In some cases, I turn stress into something else. I'll turn stress into a verse. I'll turn stress into a song. I'll turn stress into a poem. I'll turn stress into, a long drive where I'm yelling and saying all kinds of stuff, and then I come back and I'm straight. It depends, because as it has been, especially in these last couple weeks, I've been faced with a whole different type of stress. When it rains, honestly, I find so much peace and feel calm. It's just something about it. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people get that from rain.
It's like ambient white noise. It's a good effect on you. Look, yeah. I like ASMR videos. I got hooked on Bob Ross, and then I further got hooked on ASMR videos.
The original ASMR.
Hey, but you know what? I stay on them black ASMR artists though. You got to support the culture. You got to support your own.
Power.
It is what it is. We support black YouTubers and creators out here. But also, all agendas aside, for me, a lot of it is sometimes having to take a moment to process.
Mm-hmm. Really actually have a free moment, right?
Getting an understanding of what's going on.
I think you have to have a certain amount of peace to do that.
Yes.
When like things calm down a little bit, like really think about what it is that's got you.
Yep.
What's got you?
She said I do. Cara said I do list too. I write down what is bothering me and what I can do to change the outcome. That's very
Hey, because, I like that. I really do like that.
That goes back to what you were saying. Sometimes it seems like it's everything that's bothering you, right? The hardest thing sometimes is narrowing down the specific one thing that either triggered it or what caused the buildup to start.
Kiki said, possibly go find an activity or a hobby that you enjoy and to unwind.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. And I want to say something else to both of those things. The car thing. One thing that I've heard that people do is write a letter to yourself.
I've heard of that.
Or an email.
I've heard of that.
But don't send it. Also, and I want to stress this enough because I'm going to say it more than once before this pod is over too. Y'all, find the root cause. I'm putting a lot of emphasis on what I'm about to say. Mm-hmm. Find the root cause.
Yep.
Because if you cannot find the root cause, if you end up coming to I don't know, please, for the love of me, but especially for the love of you, don't fucking worry about it.
It's funny that you just
said that. If you don't know,
right?
You don't know.
And it's okay to
not know. It's okay to not know. It's okay to not have an answer to some shit.
Hold on. It's funny you just said that because Cara said prioritize your stress. Is it even worth worrying about?
Thank you.
And that ties in just with what
I didn't even see it, and I got the chat right up there because I was just like, let me say this real quick.
but like for real.
Thank you.
Only
follow up,
Kiki.
On
what you can control and what you can, and not what you cannot. And look, like I said, look, we gonna go church for a moment because it is literally
controller.
Look, that's literally what the Serenity Prayer is give me the opportunity, give me the ability to change what I can change, and to understand what I can't change and to know the difference.
Yes,
because sometimes we don't know.
We don't know.
And priorities is very important with that because it's very easy for us to get caught up in stuff that is immediately in front of us, things that are that we would consider an immediate threat, that you would consider an immediate problem. Because sometimes because the immediate problem isn't necessarily the worst thing, it's the loudest thing, it's the most ever-present thing, it's the most visible thing. So you're worried about that because it's in front of your face, but you don't know that whatever is 50 miles down the road is what's going to actually take you out. This could hurt you. That can take you out.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm also going to say, y'all, to help alleviate stress, stop taking on too much shit and learn when to say no. Please do that. Because let me tell you something.
Look, man.
You can't have priority it's VIP. Everybody can't get in the club.
That's
so
true.
why you letting everybody in the club for?
That's true.
Because even if you let everybody in the club,
For free.
somebody gonna have to get kicked the fuck out.
Look.
Somebody will.
Look.
It's over capacity. It's too many motherfuckers in here. It's hot. Motherfuckers sweating on your eye.
See, he at home, so he acting up now.
No.
But look, but for real though.
Yeah.
You know how folks say that you let things live rent free in your mind. Look, you better start charging interest with everything that you think about. Yes, I don't get paid enough for this. Say it with me when you feel stress at work. Look, you right? You exactly right. You are exactly right, because that's true. When you get to that point, if you get to a stressor at work in particular, and you're doing something and you're trying to go out of your way, take a moment to think, is this in my job description? And if it's not, or if you got to think too hard about whether or not it's in your job description, you can move on. And if they ask, you better ask them, okay, is this going to be in my job description from now on? Let me know now so I can move on. If not, am I going to get paid for this? Am I going to get paid the same salary as what Joe Blow is down here, whose job it actually is to do this? Because if not, y'all need to call him.
Listen, one thing I be telling,
I'm just saying.
one thing I tell my associates is, if a customer is coming at you reckless, and I'm here, you let me know. I get paid to deal with that. You don't.
Right. That's
And
exactly.
I mean that.
That's exactly it.
I wish more people told me that when they were in those positions and I wasn't.
Because in some cases they'll back off and let you get tore up.
And I don't mind. I'm with all the smoke. That don't mean I'm gonna tell it. I don't tell whoever up, but I can take it.
Right.
I can take it. I get paid to take it. Plus,
exactly.
I can take it. I got the fortitude.
Right.
I'm unfazed by that kind of ish.
But and that's the truth. Along with that, let's speak on people who take on things that are positions that are beyond their station. And I do not mean that disrespectfully. It might be taken disrespectfully by a couple folk, but look, it is what it is. If you are a person that does not have good emotional regulation, as in layman's terms, if you get mad over stupid stuff very easily, if you get frustrated very easily, if you get frantic the moment that something goes wrong, if you have a freak out button that you beat the snot out of like it's a redheaded stepchild every time something happens, do not take on a job that requires you to consistently deal with moderate to high stress.
Listen to this man. He's telling you something.
I said what I said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look. I grew up with a man who had one of the highest stress jobs you can have. And you know what that is? That's being a preacher, because you know what you have to do? You have to deal with people on an interpersonal level. Also, we got 6 people and 4 likes. We need to fix that.
Come on, y'all, help us out.
But look.
Run it up. But
hit people with the, bro, I do that all the time at work. Man, let me hit that Rob. Man, let me tell y'all something. Look, I had one of my coworkers, it was actually one of my coordinators at work, that was bragging on me about that. She said, you know what? I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't know what it is with Nick. People will come at him and say all kinds of crazy stuff at him, and he'll just look at them with a straight face and say, okay. And that's exactly it. You getting hit with that okay, and that's all you gonna get.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Sometimes I put a little bit more effort into it than that.
No, you remember 2.5 Men when every time somebody would talk about something, Charlie be like, I understand.
Yeah, like
it's not because he did. It's because he's just acknowledging. I heard you. Thank you.
Right, like it's like the It's like the okay.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Look, what's up?
Okay.
Shut up.
Kiki says, stay in your lane, clap it. Say it again, Nick, for the people in the back. That's 2 people in my job. Did you read the requirements before applying? Girl, that's 2 people in my job. That's 2 people in my job that were at a lower position and seen what they had to do to get into that position now. And they are still doing it.
I can't say nothing more because I could get sued.
Woo!
Hey, listen.
Woo! I'm just here
keep in
so
mind y'all code of ethics while y'all talking.
Yeah, look. We don't say no names. We don't rat out.
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Look. Just understand.
Pull a Naomi Osaka.
Look. We are not the shade room. We are not here to dish your coworkers and get them fired. That's not
We're not Hollywood Unlocked.
We're not DJ Vlad. We're not Vlad TV.
We're not
we
academics.
don't want you.
None of that.
Oh
shit.
God, no. Look. This ain't the Chirac Network or whatever he called that thing. We don't do that. We don't do that. So do be mindful about what you're saying on here. We know y'all got jobs. We know y'all got lives. Some of y'all got kids.
Yeah, remember, code of ethics.
Look, think of your priorities. Your priorities. Them babies and that money. All right. Look,
I can't say nothing. Oh no, that's
it gets nasty in my industry.
Listen, they know who they are.
Yeah,
it gets nasty in my industry.
Oh, they absolutely know who they are. They always know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Look, like I was telling him before. I've had ones, because my lady used to work with me, and they love her, But there's been some that have acted different to me, whenever it's just me there. Now that she don't work there no more. And then when she come around, they want to be all nice and everything, and they smile in my face, and they smile in her face, and I'm like, yeah, that's nice, but your energy was completely different the other day. I mean, what's it about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's my thing. I don't act different around somebody just because the scenario is different.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Because, listen, y'all, look, it's like this. Also, remember, y'all, there's power in numbers. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And I say that to say,
yes, sir,
to any couples, or at least anybody in the chat that's got somebody that really hold them down, when y'all find yourselves in situations where y'all together and one of y'all is being challenged in a way that ain't appropriate,
hold up that shield.
Hold the motherfucker down. Like, ain't nobody gonna, holler on my friend or whomever. You know what I'm saying? And they know they in the wrong, and I'm just gonna be like, that ain't none of my business. Like, listen, especially if it's people you care about, okay? Because folks will do that stuff too. Sometimes people will prey on you and be at your throat because it's just you. You ain't got no reinforcements. You know what I'm saying? There's power in numbers. It's power in numbers, and a lot. There are stressors out there that exist just primarily because it's just you.
Right. And if you don't have that as an amenity, because I know everybody does.
Everybody don't got a support team. But if you can put together an Avengers, a support team, get you one.
Look, but here's the thing. You can also be the Hulk solo them all. Here's the thing. You can be your own Dr. Manhattan, smack everybody back to where they need to go.
You can.
Look, and this is what I'm saying. Self-actualization pisses people off. Self-actualization, self-confidence, and you having not necessarily a cocky spirit or a disrespectful spirit, but you having a confident air about you. You squaring your shoulders, walking around with your head held high, and looking at them and letting them know calmly that you're not with it.
Hell yeah. Carver said, I'm always recruiting for my support team. Hey, you in the Black in a Minute podcast live stream.
Girl, this is a support team. This is a support team.
Don't get it twisted.
Our comment section always open. Look, Tristan said they hate to see a person winning.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Look,
that's when the most stress will come from you, especially at work.
Look.
But in life,
the craziest thing is you don't even have to be doing anything. You just have to be doing you. And they can be stressed out and be dealing with something crazy. And because they don't have nobody to say it to at home, they don't have anybody to deal with it at home, or they too scary to deal with whatever is at home, they'll bring it to the job and they'll project onto you because you just so happen to be there and you have a better chance of sitting there and taking it than anybody else that they deal with outside of them walls because of policy, because of the fact that they may have authority over you, because of the fact that you have to adhere to a certain level of etiquette in the job, and they know that. Misery loves company. Hurt people. Look, misery loves company. Hurt people. And there are some people that thrive off of drama like it's water. I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm not saying this to be anecdotal or to be a quote or to make it quotable. I'm saying it because it's real. I'm saying this because it's true.
It is.
Most of the people you're gonna deal with that's always in your ear telling you everything that you need to do about your life don't have their life well managed at all. In a lot of cases, what you should do. Yes, I know a couple people like that. We all do. Some of them related to us. No tea, no shade. Look, let it be known. But anywho, what you do first, one thing that I do, that I learned to do, and I learned to do this just as a result of always getting came at about certain flaws that I had or things that was going on with me
Talk to him.
in school. Like they'd always say, oh, well, you talk too much, or you do this, you do that. Look, a lot of people project onto you whatever they see is wrong within themselves. So with that being said, one thing I started doing, I started becoming very hyper aware. Anybody who said I talk too much, I started noticing how much they talk. Anybody said I was too loud, I started noticing how loud they were. Anybody who said that I said too much of this or I did too much of that, I started noticing when they were extra. And I started paying attention to that, and I started remembering that. So that way I could be like, oh, you have your flaws too. I'm not the only one.
See, that's why I never really,
And it's good to be an analyzer. It's good to be a spectator sometimes in your own space. Because when you are, you recognize a whole lot of things that are deficient within people that they would love to keep secret.
I used to be, look, that's why, listen, when people used to tell me that, when people used to say, like, when I was younger, like, people would be like, when I was in grade school and high school, oh, you talk a lot.
Okay.
And I'd be like, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what the mouth is for.
See, we should have been best friends.
And it wasn't until I was an adult that I could be like, when I was comfortably telling, like, look here, motherfucker. I went years not speaking to a soul. Don't tell me I talk too much.
Look, she said it's the intent for me.
Look, I am making up a lost time, bitch. Leave me alone, goddamn.
Look,
it's my mouth. I can do what I want to do with it.
Look, and where I'm at with it is like, look, I'm giving you an attempt. I'm making an attempt to be social with you. I don't even like being social with folk no more. School took that from me. Folk took that from me. People made that more difficult than it needed to be because they decided to make it a liability that I like to talk to people, and I was good at talking to people where other folk couldn't even pronounce big words.
They hate how interactive. How sociable you are.
Look, you ever notice how many problems? You ever notice how problematic somebody thinks you are when they realize you're articulate? You ever notice how bothered they get when you say something that they don't immediately understand?
Or when you're the complete opposite. We don't hardly talk to nobody. Look,
yes.
I used to get this. Look,
oh yeah.
I remember somebody told me, they was like, man, you I always feel like, if I'm being honest, I always felt like you thought you was better than everybody else. You never wanted to speak. You never really wanted to talk to her. Like you were too good to speak to us.
I've had that one.
I'm just like, no. I mean, but also, and this is one thing I live by, y'all. Y'all can steal this if y'all want to.
Mm-hmm.
If a person thinks something about you, they must be right to some degree by their own logic, not by mine.
They're measuring you by their stick.
Yeah, like if you think that I think I know everything, then you must be right because you think it. Otherwise, you wrong and you need to shut the fuck up, you stupid ass. If you're going to project that onto me, cool. If that's what you think, then that's what you think. And that's okay.
Right.
It don't have to be right.
And let's put it this way. You can outlive a lie. The best revenge that you can have on somebody is proving them absolutely wrong. I've had people think that I was standoffish just as I was a preacher's kid. I had people who didn't even know me but knew who my granddaddy was, or who my grandparents were, or who my auntie was, who my uncle was, whoever. And they thought that they could measure me by that metric. And then they meet me and they're like, well, I thought you was one of them holier than thou types with stuck up. I'm like, did you ever bother to ask?
Did you ever take time to get to know who I was?
Right. If you look, I'm very approachable. If you come up and talk to me, we can talk. Now, if you come up and your energy different, then I might feel some type of way. I will still conversate with you just out of genuine cordiality. You know what I mean? Just being cordial. Because I'm not going to disrespect you if I don't know you. I'm not going to disrespect you if I don't know you. I'm not going to call you out your name if I don't know you. I'm not going to do those things because I don't know you. However, it's going to be one of those things where whatever energy you come forth with is going to determine how long or how short our conversation is.
The law of equivalent exchange.
Absolutely.
Look.
Light can't exist in the same place as darkness. Period.
That just actually made me think of what was it, Eddie Griffin? I think Eddie Griffin had a joke
I bet he did.
about something like that. I gotta find that stand up
Right.
because it just reminded me of that. But you know, that's the thing. Like, you know, people can think whatever they want to think,
And they will.
that's definitely something that you shouldn't.
Look,
you should never stress about that because a lot of people do.
right.
Okay,
It
a lot of
bothers folk.
people do stress off of the judgment that they receive from others. And the thing is that everybody's going to have an opinion about something. And you may not know it until you ask them about it. That's why I don't give a fuck about being judgmental. I
Right.
don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Everybody is.
And here we go. Yeah, everybody is naturally judgmental.
Yeah, you judge. You
You're
have
judgmental as
an opinion that might be more solid to
Right.
you about something.
Well, and the truth of the matter is, we are judgmental by automatic because the brain is lazy. Or rather, the brain is an efficient machine. And by that, certain processes are going to be more automatic. If you took the time to think about every single word that somebody said to you, you would either go mad, you would either go mad, shut down, or both. Or you would just be out of energy because your mental energy would be wasted on trying to think on every single word that somebody says. If you're doing that, you're going to stress yourself out. This ain't no use to it. That's where you get stereotypes. Or rather, automatic understandings. They turn into stereotypes. But predispositions to certain things. That comes from your environment. That comes from the way you're being around. Your brain works based on an algorithm. If that's the best way I can say it. Your brain works based on a algorithm. Sometimes that algorithm is created by your environment. Sometimes that algorithm is created by who you're around. Sometimes it's created by you yourself, or some combination of the three. But as a result, that algorithm works whether you like it or not. There are implicit biases and there are explicit biases. Implicit biases are things that you hold inside that you naturally have. Explicit biases are the ones you choose to have.
Which is why, listen.
You got to deal with that.
We're going to have a conversation about it. I don't know when yet, but which is why we need to have a conversation about values and morals. Because I think in this day and age, not just from a personal standpoint, but I think for those of us out here who want to interact with people in intimate ways, i.e. dating,
Okay.
regardless of what you want, how you want it, when you want it.
Yep.
One thing that you might want to come to the table of when establishing any type of connection with anyone, whether that be a friendship or relationship, is your values, your morals, and standards.
Okay.
And some of those biases placate into that. And so that's something that we do want to talk about. So that's a low-key spoiler, I guess. But let me read the chat real quick. It was stressful caring about what others thought about me growing up. Now I embrace all their words. Hell yeah, I want all the smoke, motherfucker.
No, my thing is, I always weigh the scales and I say, is it going to be beneficial to me to think about what's going on in your head about me?
Tristan said something too.
What people
what he
think
said
or
real
say about me isn't my business. That's on them. If I wronged you, that's a different story. Absolutely. And if I wronged you, if I bothered you in some way, even if you think it don't make sense, come tell me about it. Let's sit down. Let's talk about it.
Let's have a conversation.
Because maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was off that day. Maybe I was screwing up. And if so, I gotta own that. I gotta hold that L and deal with that. But if not, we can get clarity, and all that get an understanding. Get an understanding of what's going on around you. Don't make assumptions.
I say this all the time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If you disagree with what's being said or whatever, we want to try to create safe spaces where people feel they could talk. Right. And what has to be understood is, some of us come from environments and situations where we've never had that podium. Absolutely. So for some of us, it's harder to speak. And I'm be honest, as a person that values transparency and straightforwardness, it kills me when I don't get that. Yeah, it kills me. Yeah, because it always at the end of the day makes me feel like that's just that much part of understanding I don't have.
The interesting thing is you never truly understand the value of transparency until you're dealing with someone who requires it. And by that, I mean, when you deal with a lot of members of the elderly population, when you deal with a lot of older people, because they are a targeted group of a lot of things that are sold in that are rooted in confusion, that are rooted in deceit, are rooted in deceitful practices, scams, and things of that nature. They are naturally distrusting of a lot of things. So as a result, you have to be very straightforward and plain with a lot of people, with a lot of our elders. They require things to be cut and dry, straightforward, whether it hurts, whether it's nice, whether it's neat. Hit me with the realness. Because if you don't, and you do anything or say anything that might incite confusion, then all of a sudden you got somebody ready to choose violence on you that ain't got nothing to lose. You literally don't realize how much, one, you don't realize how much people beat around the bush with you until you get older. And two, you don't realize the value of straightforwardness and transparency until you're older, because it becomes more important for you the older you get. Because the older you get, the more susceptible you become to what goes on in the world, because you're being exposed to it. And also you're like I say it like this, and this, I know this might sound a little different to folks because people are used to aren't really used to people talking about this. But look, like I said, I was raised in the church, so this is something. But it goes into energy. Look, your inner self, your inner man, your inner woman, your spiritual being is consistently under attack everywhere you go. There are moments that you are under attack mentally, emotionally, not physically, but emotionally and spiritually, just because of the energy that's abounding around you. What people's mannerisms, people's feelings, people's thoughts, their positivities, their negativities, they're projecting all of this stuff around you. And just like energy, it gotta go somewhere. It can get to you. So it's one of those things that the older we get, the more we socialize around people who have varying moods, who have varying dispositions, who come from different walks of life. So we further expose ourselves to that.
I think here's the other thing.
It becomes harder to guard yourself from that the older you get.
This matters though also. The older you get also mentally, cognitively speaking and mentally speaking, you slow down. So it's like the less detail and the more just to the point something is, the easier it becomes to understand. That's why as kids, our parents talk to us one way, and us being older, you talk with and have conversations with your elders a certain type of way. And so then there's this big gray area where most of the younger to middle-aged people
we kind of all reside in the same box together.
And here's the thing about that. When we come into these conversations with different perspectives and stuff, this is why baselines and stuff matter.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stress, a lot of daily stress that people suffer, when you think about it, when we all think about it, even the little stresses, the microaggressions, if you will. Right. We was going to do a pod about that, but we're talking about stress, so it encompasses things like that.
Yeah. It still might come.
It comes from communication issues and understanding issues.
Yeah.
And the thing is like,
gaps in knowledge and understanding.
No one wants to be talked to like they're a child.
Yes.
But at least if you're talked to like you're a child,
it's being simple and straightforward.
Yeah, simple and straightforward. You're probably gonna understand it like the fucking what do they say, the back of the hand or whatever.
Right.
The back of your hand.
It's basically you're giving people the abridged version of what you want. And the thing about it is that at certain times, because we do become hyper aware of how we're treated, hyper aware of how we're approached, hyper aware of how we're talked to, sometimes you do have moments. I have moments where I gotta sit there and think and be like, were they saying that to say it disrespectfully? Or were they saying that to be funny? Or were they saying it, what was the intent behind it? And that's not something we should necessarily have to question, but sometimes we do. I had a situation at work where I had the scan gun, and the guy said, "It's like, hey man, be careful where you aim that, man. You got an itchy trigger finger." And he thought about what he said before I even did. And he said, "I didn't mean it to be disrespectful." I'm like, I never thought you did, but thank you for giving that consideration.
Right. That's appreciated.
Look, Self-awareness. It's okay to be self-aware of what's going on. Also, one thing I wanted to say is, it's one thing if you are genuinely unbothered by the things that people say and the things that people do. That's okay. You can continue to be unbothered, walking your truth. By all means, do you, boo-boo. Because there are many who hope to be you one day, or wish they was. But if you are genuinely bothered by things that people say, if you are genuinely bothered by what people think, and these things live rent-free in your head, whether you want them to or not, if they do, it's okay to be honest about that. It's not okay to let that permeate and affect you to a point where you can't function. No, I don't agree with that. However, don't pretend to be unbothered if you're not. That's not going to do no good for you.
Yeah, in some situations, you got to just...
Well, because it's literally because you're holding yourself up to a standard that you haven't, that you're not at yet. You're holding yourself to a standard and a level that you have not reached as of yet. Not saying you never will. You can. It's possible. You got to work at it. But don't sit there and tell yourself, well, I shouldn't be. Because what you're going to start saying is, I shouldn't be bothered by this. This shouldn't hurt me. This shouldn't bother me. And what that's going to translate to is not, oh, I'm going to get stronger as a result of thinking that this shouldn't bother me. Oh, I'm here. No, you're going to say, I'm deficient. There's something wrong with me because it does bother me. Because once something bothers you, you can't ignore the fact that it bothers you. Once something pisses you off, you can't ignore the fact that it pissed you off. You can't get unpissed off. Not like that. You have to acknowledge what it is for what it is and then deal with it accordingly.
And have enough humility within yourself to be able to admit it.
Yeah.
Like some people,
and that's a hard thing to do for some folks.
And either you've been this person or you know somebody like this. So many people withhold sharing things in terms of their personal feelings.
Yes.
Because they don't want to come off a certain way to somebody else.
Absolutely.
And once again, that goes back to the judgment and shit. Listen, the work that has to be done when dealing with all these different kind of things, whether it's stress, trauma, which also plays into it.
Absolutely.
Is that you have to do the self-work. And the thing is, if you're lucky enough to feel that you are in a safe space with any particular person, talk to them. If you trust your moral compass enough and they've shown you proof of concept in terms of that reciprocating behavior, then you can have that conversation with them. And you might just learn some shit. Stop holding every goddamn thing in. If you can't dead it on your own, you might want to try exercise figuring it out with somebody else. A lot of things for me, I don't trip about. I dead a lot of shit in my head and I kill it. Whether I just kill it right in here on the noggin, or whether I go take a walk and I kill it that way. Or I'm not working out at the moment, but when I'm working out, if I kill it in that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or if I write some poetry or something, I kill it in that way.
Yes.
But if all else fails, I might talk to somebody. I might be like somebody I trust that I feel comfortable with having those conversations.
Have
like,
somebody who can help you self-check. Remember we talked about that.
Yeah. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. And if you can't check yourself, let somebody else check you.
Have some, I'll read what you said, Car, because we ain't going to ignore you. I felt bothered about my weight in the past, but now I love the belly, LOL. I'm still working towards better health, but I'll get there. No need to stress about it. Exactly. Shoot. Because sometimes your self-image will not reflect what's in the mirror. Sometimes your self-image will not reflect what's in the mirror. You could be doing just fine. There could be somebody who sees you and goes, oh, they're beautiful. I wish I was on that level. You know what I'm saying? And you're sitting there thinking that you're deficient. So it's all subjective to opinion. One thing my great-granddaddy used to always say, carrying a picture with him right now, he always said, never brag on yourself, let other people do it for you because they do a better job at it. Mm-hmm. One thing my great-grandmother used to say is, if you're talked about, you're thought about. Mm-hmm. So if somebody running their mouth about you, then obviously they must be bothered by something about you. Mm-hmm. And you ain't got to do a lot to bother folk. Sometimes you just got to exist. But back to what I was saying is, it's good to have somebody. I've learned in my personal experience, it's good to have somebody who you can go to present If it's a scenario, present your scenario. If it's how you're thinking, present your thoughts to them and be able to ask them, am I tripping? Is there something wrong with what I'm saying? Am I off? And do I need to go reevaluate? And then be able to give you a completely unbiased opinion, whether they're your friend or not. You always need somebody, because yes men and yes women are easy to get. Pick-me's are easy to get. Folk who just gonna nod your head and carry your issues with you on a silver platter because they want to be friends with you are easy to get. Somebody who's gonna tell you whether you tripping, whether you wrong, and you need to go do some reformatting, that's what you need.
Hey, Cara said something important. I'm a safe place. If anyone needs to talk or needs someone to talk to, I'm here. Thank you, and we appreciate that.
Absolutely. And it takes people like that to do that.
Also, so is Black in a Minute.
Yes.
The members of Black in a Minute.
Because we have an understanding of that. Look, for those that don't know, this is my wheelhouse. I have a degree in psychology. This is what I study. I have no issues with learning and trying to figure out how to help people. That's always been my goal. Like in one way or another, in some way or form or fashion, even as being a child, I always had a desire to do something that would involve helping people. And one of the biggest issues for me was I held myself to such a standard. Like, you know how they had peer mediators? Did you ever have peer mediators in middle school and stuff? In high school and stuff?
Yeah.
There was 2 years that I had the opportunity to apply to be a peer mediator. And I always wanted to be one. You know what stopped me? Because I used to get in fights and used to get in altercations with people, or as my principal used to say, confrontations. We'll get to that later. Because I used to get in the incidents with people and have issues, and I would have issues with my anger, my frustration, and everything. I felt like I wasn't worthy to be in a position where I'm helping somebody else mediate or mitigate a problem because I felt like I couldn't mediate or mitigate my problems.
Interesting.
Not realizing that was my credentials to do so. Yes, I'm bothered, just like you're bothered. So as a result, I get you. Because the thing is, yes, you're going to have certain teachers, you're going to have certain mentors that ain't been through what you've been through. They didn't have to have it that hard, and they can talk to you and say that there's a better way. And that's nice, and that's cool, and that's great. But more than likely, you're going to take it better from somebody who doesn't just present you with a yellow brick road answer with no depth, but instead present you with, I was where you're at. I know exactly how you're thinking. I know exactly where you at because I felt like that and even worse. And I got through it. We gonna get through this together. Let's go.
True. I literally, and don't be afraid to be judged for it neither. I literally was labeled an asshole just because I refused to be that type of person. I wasn't the echo chamber, everything's gonna be okay person. Right. I've never been that kind of person. Right. I was always all right, listen, this is the reality of the situation. Mm-hmm. Here are the things you can control. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do about it?
Yes.
And I had to zoom in, y'all, because we ain't no DSLR, so I can't just cut in and do it like that. Well, what are you gonna do about it?
Right. Kiki said that dynamic between friends and family to check each other develops so much growth and elevation. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I didn't have friends who could do that, if I didn't have family members who could do that, if I didn't have people that I could come to be like, okay, am I tripping? Let me know if I'm wilding out when I'm saying this. Let me know if I'm on the right page. I don't want to know where I would be without that. We all need that. And we can be that for them too at the same token. Sometimes the roles switch. But yes, absolutely. One thing I've been saying is, for me, because I have an understanding that certain coping mechanisms don't work, sometimes it does feel harder for me because I don't default to those things. I don't default to going out and drinking. I don't default to partying. I don't default to, drugs, self-harm, things like that, because I know they don't work. So for me, it's just two options. Either you deal with it or you don't. And in some cases, you don't as an option if you're trying to be the right type of person, because in some of those cases, it's not about you. It might be about your parents. It might be about your kids. It might be about your grandparents, anybody that you care for. And as a result of that, you don't have the option. Sometimes you end up in a situation where you're it. You are their rock. You are their source of support. You are their person that they need to talk to account for. What they used to call it, an accountability buddy. You know, it sounds cheesy, but seriously, you're that for them. So as a result, you don't have the option of don't. You have the option of you got to deal with it. And that's a hard thing to stomach. It's a hard pill to swallow. It sucks, and I'm not going to lie to you and say it doesn't. But at the same time, sometimes if that's something you wanted for someone else to do for you, you have to be willing to do it for someone else.
I agree.
And if we come with that understanding, and if a lot of us came with that understanding, a lot of things would be so much easier.
Yeah, and don't listen. Do not let the fear of what someone think of you prevent you from expressing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be disrespectful with it.
No. But you can be because transparency doesn't always mean disrespect.
No, and people get that shit twisted so much.
Yeah,
sometimes
some of them think that they can just be an open book and say all kinds of crazy stuff to you. And
sometimes you just genuinely in a position, either because of yourself or because of who you're dealing with. Usually it's a combination of both.
True.
Where there's a lack of understanding.
Right.
That don't mean that it got to be people arguing and going back and forth.
Right.
But what it does mean is that some form of dialogue needs to take place.
Yeah.
Are you going to initiate it, or are you going to wait for somebody else to initiate it?
Absolutely.
Now me, I'm going to initiate it.
Don't create static where it doesn't exist.
I'm going to initiate it. Because one expression that many of us have heard before over the years is closed mouths don't get fed.
Nope. Absolutely not.
If there's something on your mind, just because it bothers you does not mean you have to be disrespectful about it.
Look, one thing a wise
I know that's hard to hear,
Yep.
but hear it again. Just because something bothers you does not mean you got to be disrespectful about it.
Thank you.
You don't.
Look, and here's for those of us who do work in corporate and do deal with corporate things, or at least just things involving business. It's just like the decision of whether or not you go to HR because something is bothering you. A wise man once told me, if it's not said, it may as well have not happened. You may as well treat it like it never happened, because even though it happened for you, even though you experienced it, you can't guarantee that everybody else around you, even if they were in the same space, understands exactly what happened in that moment.
Yeah. And that's
and you can't assume that either.
It's kind of a conversation of expectations. Yes. Y'all, stop with the common sense shit. I really want us to throw the concept away.
Because sometimes it eats its own.
It's subjective as hell. It really doesn't make no sense in reality.
Well, it's a self-defeating principle.
Number two, stop expecting people to know shit about you.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
If you have the inkling that somebody doesn't know you very well, why the fuck do you expect them to know some shit about you?
Exactly.
Like that doesn't make any sense. Like if I don't know you very well, right?
Right.
You really shouldn't be expecting me to know too much of anything.
Yes, and there's been situations where this came up, and like somebody will freak out, and then afterwards, either they will or somebody else will say, well, such and such was dealing with these type of problems. Like, bro, I didn't know that. Why didn't you just say that? Just tell me. I've been in so many situations where I've had to just tell somebody, talk to me if you got an issue. Don't make it a grandiose thing where everybody and their mom and their second cousins got to be involved in it, and then we all got to make it a whole scene.
And don't do no passive aggressive shit neither, because the thing of the matter is like this. If you really got a problem with somebody and you actually want it to be solved, you'll talk with them about it. Because let me tell you something. In a situation where you don't make that clear, you've created a whole nother problem in itself.
Yep.
You've just created that much more stress, because you know what's going to happen? Now that person is going to hold you accountable for acting passive aggressive to them.
Yep.
And what happens last is going to take precedence over what happened first.
And they will
because
not
this is the most recent thing.
You.
Right. And now
it's reciprocation.
Somebody else has a problem with you, and they didn't even know you had a problem with them. Right. So the way they're going to see it is, oh, why you acting this way?
Mm-hmm.
And then you gonna hit them with, well, because you did this. Well, then why didn't you tell me?
Yes. Why didn't you?
Because just because you felt upset about something I did
doesn't mean that I know that you was upset.
Right?
Doesn't mean that I know you
can't go back and then hold me accountable for something that already passed after you committed an offense to me.
Because of it's because of the simple fact that accountability goes both ways. Accountability always goes both ways. It's a two-way street. So if you're gonna hold me accountable for something that I didn't know was bothering you, then I'm gonna have to hold you accountable for something I don't know bothering me. It's easy to do that. You shouldn't do that because you shouldn't repay evil for evil. You shouldn't repay petty for petty. But we live in the real world.
Don't be seeking retribution.
Look. We live in the real world and in a society where retribution is the rule and not the exception.
Vengeance, spite. Yes. Like, I just gotta get mine back. Because I'm definitely gonna feel better.
Yes, and you know why it is? It's because it's eating at you. It's eating at you. Look, and I'm not saying that to say that I'm perfect and say that I know everything. I'm saying this because I've learned all the different ways to not do it. I've been in that situation where I wanted to get. I've been in the same room, in the same building with somebody that I wanted to do retribution to, and I had to stop myself from doing that because I knew it wasn't going to do nothing for me.
Look. It's like we've gotten to the point now where people care more about revenge than they do accountability.
Yes.
It's like
because it's a different type of gratification.
And because
it's instant gratification.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I just got even. Now they gonna feel how I felt. Or you could just tell them how you feel. They understand, realize that they've done something wrong if they definitely did. Yeah, which is a whole nother conversation, y'all.
And then you can move on with life.
And then you can move on because you'll probably get a sincere apology instead of, I'm just saying this
so you'll shut up.
So you'll shut up.
Because a lot of folk gonna give. Because to be honest, a lot of the apologies that you hear now, a lot of the apologies you hear in media, a lot of the apologies that you hear in real life are I'm saying this so that way you'll shut up and leave me alone. It's a shut up and leave me alone apology. Or it's the I'm sorry but apology.
Right, which I tell like as many people, anybody that know me personally know this. If a person says sorry to you and then they follow it up with a but statement, they're invalidating the apology.
They're invalidating the fact that they're even sorry about what you did. They're invalidating the fact that you were genuinely bothered. And we've all done it. We've all done it, or we've been subjected to it. It's a little lovely thing called gaslighting, and you shouldn't do it to people.
All you can do is say you're sorry and then offer not a promise. Offer a plan
of restitution.
Yeah, and or improvement in said behavior or situation.
Yes. Or
instead, because that's better.
Yeah, or otherwise just agree to disagree and go your separate ways.
Either way, if you don't want to, if you don't want to apologize because you don't have to.
Because once again, we're in the real world. You ain't got to be buddy with everybody.
No,
you don't have to be best friends with everybody, even if they work with you, even if they live with you. You do owe them genuine respect. You owe them the respect that is owed to every human being, just like they owe you respect that's owed to every human being. That don't mean you got to like each other. That just means you got to deal with each other in the time that you do.
Kiki said, I'll tell you what, LOL. I don't apologize for nothing I'm not sorry for.
As you shouldn't.
When you say, hold on, when you say apologize for something I'm not sorry for, does that mean, correct me if I'm wrong,
okay,
because I'm trying to understand. When you say not sorry for, does that mean something that you don't think is wrong? Or does that mean something you just don't feel
like you're being sincere about? Because that's what I took it as. I took it as you saying, if you don't sincerely feel like you're sorry, if you don't sincerely feel like what you're
bad,
right, if you feel like you're just saying sorry to shut somebody up, there's no point in saying it. But if you do feel genuinely sorry, you should. Because if it's something like that, then yes, I agree. You shouldn't apologize until such time as you truly feel sorry. Now, you should try to figure that out.
If you truly feel sorry, you will do everything in your power to just make sure that it doesn't happen again. You won't be perfect, but you will. That someone will be able to look at you.
You'll mitigate.
See the difference, the progression, the effort.
And that's the thing. If you're truly sorry about something, you should be truly sorry about whatever it is you feel like you did wrong. That's your own journey to go on, and I feel like you should make that a priority to understand what you may have done wrong. But until you get to that understanding, no, you should not just blurt out sorry.
And the only way those things happen, though, is if you have honest conversations. Because, and this is the key about the sorry thing, right? Mm-hmm. What you may feel you've done might not be wrong to you, but it might also not be wrong to you because you aren't seeing it from the other person's perspective. And that matters because that is the crux. Like, that's the crux of actually understanding. I just bumped the mic. But, like, because there have been times, and I'm going to speak for myself because I don't mind putting myself out there like that. Okay. There have been times where I truly did not feel sorry for something because I didn't quite understand to the degree that the other person felt affected by it. That matters. That's called consideration. Work on it if you've ever felt like you weren't that person. Okay. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. We've all been that way once.
At least
once.
Because the id doesn't allow you to not be that.
Remember that. Your inner self
and your pride will not allow you to let that go. One thing I will say, she said, like, if someone said I hurt their feelings, I will apologize for the fact that whatever I did caused pain towards them, and I will reflect on what it is that triggered them. There you go. And to echo what he's saying and to piggyback on what he's saying, yes, some things you may not consider to be wrong or out of line just because it doesn't go by your metric.
Right, it's not wrong in your reality.
Yeah, because
that happens a lot, y'all. Look, let's not act like that shit don't happen a lot. There's a lot of shit that I don't think is wrong.
Right.
That other people would disagree with me on.
Aggressively. Look, and that's what I'm saying. It's just like what I was saying before. Some people might consider certain things to be more stressful than others. Some people might consider something that you think is small and insignificant to be the biggest thing in the world. So with that consideration being made, if they are bothered about it and they express that, they go through the process of expressing that they're bothered by it, you have to validate that. Especially,
not only, but especially if you care about them.
Yes. Because the simple fact is, I've been in situations where somebody will say, "Oh, well, you're being sensitive. You're being sensitive." That's gaslighting. Don't do that. Because what you consider to be sensitive is them being honest. Sometimes that's them being honest. That's their truth.
What's not a big deal to me may be a big deal to you.
Yes, and you don't invalidate.
You're right. Don't invalidate. Don't minimize that just because it doesn't matter too much to you. When you truly understand people, you start to get that. Mm-hmm. You can have a difference of opinion. It's okay. One of the things that I say is, like, it's okay if I think differently than you. It's very okay. You might be offended by it.
Right.
We can talk about it.
Right.
But it's definitely okay.
Right.
And if y'all dealing with people where these things are not okay. If y'all dealing with people where these things are not okay. And by not okay, I mean to a point where motherfuckers is yelling, arguing with you about these things.
You just need to agree to disagree.
You might need to exit stage left.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole different thing.
Look, and that's not saying, and once again, that's not saying you have to disrespect them. That's not saying you don't have to call them out of their name, that you ain't got to do anything extra. Because the way I feel is, if it's not worth the energy, don't do it. Don't expend more energy than you need to on a certain situation. If it's not worth you going off the rails and reading them the riot act because something that bothered you, don't do it. But if you need to get to the point where you agree to disagree, so be it.
Yeah,
that is fine.
It's okay. Stop hating on closure.
Closure is important.
Stop hating and downplaying closure for the sake of your own funky ass dignity. I'm going to say it again.
Look.
Stop downplaying closure and resolve for the sake of your own stinking ass dignity.
Because to some degree, you're hurting your own dignity and your own credibility by not accepting.
Why are you so fucking worried about being embarrassed? You're going to feel, if the outcome is to feel better, then fuck being embarrassed.
And the simple fact is, some things you just have to go through.
Yes, you do.
Some things in life are non-negotiable. Some issues are non-negotiable. Some relationships, friendships, whatever.
I'm just saying though, man.
Look.
Listen, Kiki. These days it takes a lot for me to be embarrassed by something because I am who the fuck I am.
Right.
I behave, I speak, I act the way that I do.
Right.
Okay. And the thing is that for the sake of straightforwardness and honesty, because I love that shit and it's simple to process, it is, and it just makes more sense to me than anything else. I don't give a damn about the possibility of embarrassment if it makes me feel better at the end of the day. That's what people worried about. They're worried about feeling bad. They're worried about their feelings being hurt. All that. Just be fucking honest.
Right.
Stop worrying about what somebody gonna think about you living in your truth.
That and the simple fact is, once you get to worrying so much, you pretty much created your own self-fulfilling prophecy.
You've created your own issues.
Yes, and the simple fact is, here's the thing.
Funky, skunky ass.
Look, everything has a season. Everything happens in its time. Some of your friendships, some of your relationships, some of your the bros and sisters you got and the people that you consider family and that you love and you genuinely feel like are never gonna go, some of them come with an expiration date. Some of them don't.
You gonna find out the more honest you are and straightforward you are. I swear to you.
And look, if it one thing that somebody used to say, I think it was somebody in the church, somebody I knew used to say this. They said, if you really want to know how much somebody validates you, how much somebody cares about you, and where they rate you and where they hold their esteem on you, tell them no. Just once. Tell them no. And I mean, hold on to that no and solidly say it. You ain't got to be disrespectful. You ain't got to be rude. Just tell them no.
Yep.
Because depending on how they react to that no is going to tell you a whole lot about what your relationship dynamic is and where you stand in their mind.
Facts. Talk that shit.
I'm just saying that. Look, no done made a lot of enemies out of best friends.
No be killing folks.
Look, I done lost a lot of friends off of no. I done lost a lot of people who I considered siblings off of no. I've lost a lot of people that I thought were gonna be there for some years off of a no, off of one no, or maybe a few no's. And some of them wasn't even no's. Some of them was just maybe not. Some of them was just not this time or not right now. You know what I'm saying? That's literally that.
I was told no
by a man and I married him.
I mean, there you go.
Are you
still married to that man?
Yeah, I was gonna say that does kind of count. I probably shouldn't get too hyped before you say so. I prematurely celebrated. I got hyped.
I was told no by a man and I married him.
I don't know. That just seems like a powerful statement. I ain't gonna front. That's kind of boss.
Cara, we don't know the context of that.
We need to know the context of that.
I'm not gonna ask.
Well, not like in depth, but we just need to know, like, is that still a thing? Like,
I do want to know if you're still married. I am curious
because it's going to kind of determine whether we cheer or whether we have a whole different conversation.
All right.
I mean, look, it ain't no judgment either way. I mean, it is what it is. See, now folks is curious.
I think you like,
we need to know. I am still married to him. He was the first man to ever tell me no, and I needed that.
Oh. Woo! Okay, I got you.
Okay. Look, okay, so good. We can celebrate it. I had to double think that, but yes, that's true. You got to be able to tell folk no.
I probably gained a lot more respect for him for telling you that too.
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother conversation.
Ooh, that's a whole nother podcast. But
is.
I will say this. I was always somebody who sucked at saying no. I still kind of suck at saying no. And I've gotten to the point where it's become a requirement for me to do it occasionally, just for the sake of, my own sanity, my own time, my own energy and everything. And what you're saying is true.
Hey,
you respect that person will respect you more if you just tell them no versus if you just saying, because my mindset would always be, I've gotten in arguments like this where I was like, well, I was just trying to be considerate. I was just trying to be considerate. If you didn't want to do it, just say no.
Right. And man, don't get me started on that
Yeah.
shit. I hate that. And I'm going to tell y'all why I hate that.
Which
and this
one?
might
Which,
just be
hold on. Which one?
That what you just said. If you didn't want to do something,
Just
you
say
should have
no.
said it. Yes. And maybe I think it's because
I did. It was nice for someone to put their foot down in the correct way.
mhm.
I like how you said that.
Exactly.
Because there's a way to do that. You don't have to be an authoritarian.
I knew it. I peeped that.
Look, you ain't got to be an authoritarian. You ain't got to be a dick about it. You don't have to be a jerk. You don't have to make it seem like they need you. So you're saying no is important. It's just no.
If you
can't do that right now. Sorry. Sorry for you.
Don't overextend. Don't over.
Don't
it's
over.
The word with a C. I can't even.
Don't overemphasize or overcomplicate.
I can't even get it. I can't even get it out.
Look, don't overcomplicate or
don't overcommit.
Yes,
that's it.
Don't overcommit and don't overcomplicate how important that no is. Okay.
Let me tell you something. I'm a type person, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like promises because promises create expectations. And they usually create unrealistic expectations.
One thing.
So if you're going to be that person that makes promises, I'm going to hold you to your word.
And this is one thing.
I believe in that.
This is one thing my great grandmother told my grandmother when she first got married. She said, "Whatever you do, whatever you start with, is whatever you end with." Which means whatever you come into a specific relationship, and this is not just talking about marriage. This is not just talking about being in a romantic relationship. This is even being friends, because I've had to live through this and I've had to accept certain things that came from this. Whatever you start out doing for somebody, whatever you start out rendering for somebody in terms of services and being nice and certain amenities and things, those exceptions become expectations.
Yeah. Because people hold you accountable for what you put out.
Look, and for those of us that deal with the public, listen to what it is. Those exceptions where you've done something for somebody and just kind of went out your way and done for somebody, if you do it enough, it graduates to being an expectation. If you do that enough and you cave into those expectations enough, it becomes an entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
And once it becomes an entitlement,
and you don't do it,
you're going to have to go through hell and high water to get past that. Yes, you cannot change up during the relationship. Absolutely. That's why there's certain customers, I'll just tell them, I can't do that. Well, such and such did it for me. I'm not such and such.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like,
because like I said, it becomes an entitlement. The moment that somebody becomes entitled to something that you made an exception for, that's a problem. Because now you're expected to give 110, 120% like it's 80.
And don't get it twisted.
Or 50.
It's not their fault.
No.
It's yours because you're in control.
You created the arena for that.
You're in control.
You set the stage for that. You chose to commit to it enough to where they came with an expectation that this is what I'm entitled to. I own this. Because what does it mean when you're entitled to something? It means that it is yours. It is unquestionably yours. Your name is on it. No one can take it from you. It is your title. You own that as much as you own your car. If you do own your car, if you have a title to your car, it has your name on it, and it says, this is yours. No one can say that it's yours because it's yours. So when you have an entitlement, once it gets to a point of entitlement, that's why entitlement is bad. That's why we talk about Karens. That's why we talk about, a lot of those people that be wilding around, that be with them misaligned haircuts, looking like a trapezoid, coming in there with the duck lips and the freaking stunner shades, yelling at you because I know what I'm supposed to get. That's my right. You're supposed to do this. You work for me, and they will say that. I've had folks say that.
You're not lying.
They'll look at you and say, "Oh yes, you will do this," and I look, and you look back, and I look back at them and say, "No, that's not what we're required to do."
It's a SpongeBob meme, man, with the monster and shit, and he's just like,
look, but look, that's literally what I'm saying. It's the same thing in real life. I've had folk who expected me to just do things for them. There was no questions asked. There was no consideration of what I was doing. There was no consideration of where I was at, where my mindset was, how much gas money I had, how much money or time I had. They just expected me to do it. They didn't even ask. They were just like, "Oh, so you can do this, right?" No. And at the time, in a couple of those cases, I screwed up and said yes because I was trying to be nice. And it got to the point where they made it more difficult for me to even deal with that. So after that point, I was like, oh, I ain't never doing that again. I'm never doing that again.
You know, the overarching point of all these experiences and things that we've talked about on this stream is that these are some of the situations that stress can
exacerbate.
Yeah, thank you. I was gonna say.
Don't you hate when you
yes.
lose the word?
Yeah, and mine was gonna be it's something with an F, but you know, these are the environments that allow stress to grow, you know, and multiply, and a lot of it primarily comes from overextension. I actually think that overextension is part of the definition or reference in that definition of stress. We were supposed to have the Webster's Dictionary or somebody's version of we slacking.
Oh,
but
let me get that. What, a stress?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do. That is right. We do that.
This is important.
Look. See what I said about expectations. I did it too many times, and now there is an expectation for me to bring forth the definition. So
you'll just be like, I don't want to do it. Look, you do it.
Since there is an expectation
gotta change
for me to bring the definition, you know what I'm saying? Let me
go
ahead.
Lay it on.
All right, according to the dictionary, at least the internet dictionary, stress is a noun. 1, pressure or tension exerted on a material object. 2, a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Verb, give particular emphasis or importance to. 2, subject to pressure or tension.
So, you know, some of the different type of situations and stuff that we've referenced, experiences that we've had, all can contribute to stress, and most of these things contribute on a regular to stress.
And one thing I noticed is in 3 out of 4 of these definitions between the nouns and the verbs, the words that you're looking for, I keep knocking my headphones out. I'm just leaving them out. Look, the words that keep coming up are pressure, strain, and tension. All words that involve force. All words that involve pulling or pushing or things being forced upon you.
Energy, work.
Yes.
Power.
Absolutely. Because when you strain something, when you apply pressure to something, because when you apply pressure to something, sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. When you strain something, that's always bad. When you strain something, that's always bad. And if strain is in 3 of 4 of these definitions, that tells you that stress has a negative connotation. Therefore, if you think about it that way in terms of the definition and in terms of the way that words are defined and the fact that words do have meanings beyond what the word just is, and those words do mean something to you, those carry on spirits, those carry on energy of their own. If it has a negative connotation with the word, then that means it's going to have a negative connotation. It has a potential to have a negative connotation to you if there is too much of it.
In reality, it will only exist as negative because that's the only way that you perceive it.
Yes. Basically. So if there's already an automatic perception of that, and you already starting to feel what you consider to be stress, then in a lot of cases you're thinking that's negative. Because sometimes people say perform under stress, but most people say perform under pressure. See what I mean? Yeah. Pressure can be good or bad. Strain is bad.
That's why I reference challenges in games.
Absolutely.
Because there can be stress that comes from those things.
It's all about how you define things.
Yeah, but always understand with most of these words, practically all of them, to be technical.
Yep.
They do have a defined definition.
Yes. Now
it is to be respected in order for you to understand the baseline of these different words, concepts, and what they mean, at least in your life.
And that right there is precisely the reason why I don't like the word toxic as it is now. That is why.
Connotation.
Is because the connotation that is associated with toxicity and the word toxic just always the connotation associated with it changes depending on who's saying it, whose Instagram or Facebook or Twitter account it is, and how pissed off, hype, or gassed up they think they are. Because you can hear one person say, I don't want to deal with no toxicity in my life. I don't need nobody toxic. I need to remove all toxicity from my life. I don't need nobody near me that is even remotely toxic. If you got toxicity in you, I don't need you. And then you see somebody else who'll say, pardon my French, I'm with all that toxic shit. Now, what in the hell does that mean?
Sounds like a whole lot of stress.
No, that sounds goofy. That sounds like you're insane. You want problems? You want issues? You want to be bothered all the time? You want somebody breathing down your neck? You want somebody to piss you off every day? Think about what that is implying. Think about what message that's sending to you as a person who's reading it, to somebody else who is taking that stuff to heart. You may not take it to heart, but somebody else is. There are people who genuinely believe that they're not in a good relationship with or friendship with somebody if they don't have problems. They woke up and chose violence. Thank you. Look, why do you think the 90s was so freaking edgy? That was it's a reflection of real life, even comics. Comics got dark and gritty towards the 80s and 90s. You know why comics got dark and gritty towards the 80s and 90s? Because a lot of shit was going down towards the 80s and 90s with drug abuse, drug addiction, social issues, social stratification, people trying to find new identities, people trying to figure out themselves, and people trying to expunge a lot of negative things out of them that were inside of them because they had a new understanding of it and they wanted to express it. For better or for worse, that created and set that stage for all this toxic BS that we hear every day. That's why I hate that word, because don't nobody know how to define it.
Y'all, for the record, this is Nero's kick-ass segment.
It is.
We're definitely not talking about toxic. We actually need to do a separate episode.
We're going to do a separate episode about that.
But if you want to,
if you want to know the reason,
ain't nobody really want to talk about stress tonight. So shout out for those of y'all who did come in tonight. Because normally, it'd be at least twice. Last time, I think we peaked at about 3 times the amount.
Yeah, look.
When we talk about toxic, I don't want all y'all little toxic ass friends bringing their funky asses in this chat. I'm kidding. Bring it. The more the merrier. The more the merrier.
Cara said #passion. Look, right. I just like it when things are defined properly. I need things to be properly defined for me. Don't be saying the words to me and it just sound like double talk. Maybe that's just the old school in me. Maybe that's my granddaddy in me saying, look, I need you to talk to me properly. Tell me exactly what you mean exactly what you say. Don't sit there and hit me with no double talk and you saying one thing and it means something else. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that. Right. I don't need that. Because a lot of people do that. And in the industry that we're in, with doing music and doing poetry and being in front of people, you get a lot of that. You get a lot of folk trying to sell you wolf tickets for $50 and want to charge you $20 for it, and then want to try to make $100 off of it, and you don't get a wooden cent. True. So that's something that we understand. Also, with us being in retail, Lord knows when corporate shows up, it's always just one of them things. So look, that's just something that we understand and we deal with. You know what I'm saying?
I'm toxic.
Accept it. Jesus. Which version?
Your husband accepts it. So there you go.
You're right. Look,
you found your one.
You did find you one.
I'm happy for you.
But look. It ain't even whether you're toxic or not. I need to know which definition it is.
Right.
I gotta know. That's the important part.
I gotta know what 2019. Is it the one from last year? Which version?
One from last week.
Is it the 2019 2-door? Or is it the extended crew cab? Like, you gotta talk like this shit is cars.
Is it the SLT?
Right. Is it third wave? Is it fourth wave? Is it
2500 dual Hemi power?
Semi-automatic.
Eco-friendly. Jesus. Fossil fuel.
Right.
Okay, we wildin'. But
no.
But for real, like, I hope that this has been helpful to y'all. I'm getting some of your feelings out. Look, still feel free to talk in the comments even after this is over, even after the actual discussion over. It doesn't mean that the discussion has to end in the comments.
Nah, we have a whole Facebook community where y'all can talk. Y'all can talk.
Look, and if y'all don't feel like being on Facebook, because I know not everybody likes Facebook that much, you right here. Just be on here. Just be on here. Have your discussions.
I mean, the live chat will be the live chat. You know, those of y'all who be in the live chat,
y'all gonna be on top.
But, yeah, and it's low key exclusive because like the live chat happens live. But you know, you can still leave comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Just because the stream ends doesn't mean y'all.
What we'll probably also start doing is we'll start doing some conversations here on YouTube, good old YouTube as well.
Yep.
You know, for everybody else who don't have Facebook, because I know Q&As. Some of y'all exist out there.
Yep, Q&As. Look, you used to be one of them not too long ago. So,
True.
Look, so you understand. But yeah. All right, let's get through, some
last announcements. Yeah, I just want to bring up some of the announcements for those of y'all who missed it earlier in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow is First Fridays here in Evansville, Indiana. Woo! If you're in the area, come down to Washington and Judson. Right before you reach Haney's Corner and stuff and Boca Lounge and all of that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be out there. I might be out there most of the day. Nero's going to be out there throughout the day. Anytime, probably like after 1, like toward the evening time. It's going to be merchants selling, their own various items that most are handcrafted and handmade. These are small businesses. Support your small businesses, people. There will be a variety of things being sold.
These are not people that are mass producing stuff.
No, this is not Apple and Samsung.
And calling it authentic, all right?
No, these are people making stuff in their houses.
This ain't that art. This ain't that stuff that says handcrafted on the front and then says made in China on the back.
Right. This is handcrafted art. These are beauty products.
Yes.
Clothing.
Yes.
All different types of various artwork and
wares.
Items and consumables and stuff. It might even be somebody selling some jewelry. I don't know.
Also, we'll be out.
Books will probably be out there if you want to get your read on. Mm-hmm. And lastly, but certainly not least, sir, you just said it. We will be out there. We.
In the flesh.
Black in a Minute. The Dark's King Poet and Nero Angelo. We'll be out there as well for, if you want to talk, chop it up, support us. We will be out there.
Just don't call for me.
That's going to be June the 4th. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Juneteenth. June 19th, 2021 to be exact.
Yes, indeed.
Okay? There'll be a Juneteenth celebration right over on Riverside. Mm-hmm. Off Riverside, right across from R&K gas station before you hit the riverfront.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a huge field full of merchants, full of food, a stage with live music. There will be band performances. I myself, the Dark King Poet, will be speaking to the people.
Yep.
This man will be performing for the people.
Yes, indeed.
Because at the end of the day, we serve the people. Don't get it twisted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the culture.
Yes,
and later on that night, we'll also be celebrating 100 years of the Negro League baseball era alongside the Evansville Otters and the Evansville African American Museum of Evansville.
Dang.
So what does that mean? We're going to be busy. We're going to be out and about. We're going to be black as hell. We're going to be black in a minute, and we're going to be serving the people. Come to the baseball game. I'll be giving out tickets starting tomorrow.
I got some too.
He got some too. We got multiples.
Okay. I don't want to deflate your bubble, but Kiki said if y'all not selling my t-shirt and hoodie, then boo.
Hey, support the culture regardless.
Twice.
Can't just be for the t-shirts now. Those are coming.
Thank you for appreciating us for the t-shirts, yo.
We do appreciate it, though.
Coming, and when
like I said, I plan to have it before June 19th. I plan to have it before then, but you will know.
Yeah.
You'll be one of the first people to know while you're up there typing all that bitch. You'll be one of the first people to know.
Absolutely.
Everybody in this chat
will be
among the first people to know.
Because y'all been here first.
Yes. Gotta support the day ones, y'all.
Absolutely.
We got y'all. Don't even worry about it. Don't even trip on it, family.
Don't even trip, dog. I'm still trying to support, but I need to know who to write the check to. Okay, yeah, we do have to get that figured out.
Yeah, we don't get that together for you, Cara.
We've been on CB time with that.
We forgot you still living in Bedrock.
Dang, son.
We got you. I know your car run off feet. It's okay though.
I ain't even say all that. Okay, of course, support the culture
coaches.
and small business.
Yeah, girl. Yeah,
Absolutely.
man, quit playing like you don't know what it is.
Yes. Look, and for those who always want to say, you don't support black businesses. You don't support black businesses. Look, I am a black business.
Facts. And
I make music. I make beats. I produce content.
this is a black business
and
within a business.
You see it.
Within businesses.
You see it. I am a black business.
Right.
So, shoot, I ain't gonna beg for support, but I will.
We gotta make the money go round and round. Dollars,
the music,
dollars circulate.
Also on June 18th, I do have a show going on. It's going to be the start of a series of shows called the Summer Series.
Yes,
that's going to be at the Arts Council building on 212 Main Street on the rooftop. It's right next to Zuki's. If you know where Zuki's is on Main, you'll know where this place is because it's literally right by it.
We'll try to put this stuff on the Flow page as well, so that way y'all can actually see events and stuff that we'll be doing.
I will warn y'all ahead of time if you do come and you try to park there, do not park in the Zuki parking lot. Seriously, do not.
Zuki will come after your
Bro, they will. No, seriously, they will. They have issues with that. Like, they are very serious about that. If they feel like you in there for any other reason other than to get they high price sushi, they will get you towed. So yeah, that's just one thing to be mindful of. I don't want none of my folks getting in trouble. I don't want none of my folks getting fines because they got towed.
If you have Facebook,
so that's all that is.
If you have Facebook, join our Facebook community.
Yes.
We will be posting all the stuff we just said in there as well. Also, stay tuned to the page, man. Follow the Flow page. It's tagged at the top of the chat for those who don't know.
Yep.
Now you know.
Also, if you see either of us around, we have these right here. Let me see. Put it up to the camera. We have these right here. If you need a way to get a link to us, all you have to do is take a picture of this nice little picture right here. It's been proven to work. I've done it with a few friends and a few other associates and folks. I even did it with somebody at Guitar Center. So it will link you to the Flow page and get you every link that you need.
Yes, sir.
All you got to do is take a picture.
Cara says, special announcement. My birthday is June 16th. Happy early birthday, Gemini season. I see y'all.
Oh, Lord, Gemini.
What's power?
I can't say nothing. My granddaddy's a Gemini. My granddaddy's birthday is actually June 5th, so it'll be on Saturday. So, yes. Look, I can't say nothing about Gemini season.
Happy 32.
We appreciate y'all, too. Hashtag 32.
Yes.
I feel like that's an important number in basketball. I feel like that's somebody's number in basketball, or was. Am I tripping?
I feel like it used to be, was it Shaq?
No, it was either Shaq's or it was LeBron James. It might have been LeBron's. I think it was LeBron's.
I can't remember. Basketball fans, don't kill us if you're in here.
Please don't.
Because I'm not the biggest basketball fan. My basketball, like, I still follow it a little bit because I like sports. But after the Jordan era,
I don't got cable no more.
Which I grew up in.
Look, I don't got cable no more, so unless it's like out there and it's something that piques my interest.
I am following the playoffs though right now.
Yep.
I hope it's LA and BK because all the hype surrounding both teams, LeBron James and KD and everybody. I'm really trying to see all of that come to a head. I don't know though.
LeBron,
Luke, I don't know though. You still got Luke out there in Dallas doing his thing, smacking the Clippers around like they amateurs.
You want to know something funny? I don't know why this is funny to me. She said that her birthday this is gonna be her 32nd birthday, and my phone is exactly on 32%. It's got weird.
Nero coming in with the
coincidentals
with the with the spiritual, astrological, voodoo, conspiracy, coincidence, shit.
Yes, fun fact, my birthday is the same with Tupac. Oh, dang. I realized that. That's what's up. That's kind of dope.
Ain't that also Kendrick's birthday, or is it the day before? Or the day after something? Kendrick's birthday around that time, too.
I gotta check. I don't even remember people's birthdays. Like,
there's only a few of them like that I remember. Like, Ye birthday the 8th.
You know the only person's birthday who was famous, who I really considered a fave, who I remembered all the time. Charles Hamilton's birthday was November 10th. He's a Scorpio.
There you go.
So I guess I've always been cool with Scorpio folks. Y'all niggas get on my nerves, so. But and it also didn't help that I'm a 10 too, because mine is August 10th. So I thought that was kind of.
We're not getting into no numerology, y'all. We are about to get up off here soon. We don't want to keep y'all, and we got a pod to make.
Look, even though folk be judging Leos.
Hey, you know what? We definitely gonna do an episode on like zodiac signs and shit. That'll be a fun one for y'all.
Magic Johnson had 32, I think. Okay, thank you.
But Nero, do you have any closing statements or remarks you want to make or anything?
Only thing I would say is just continue to support the pod. Oh, Mythology, yes. Mythology would be another interesting to check out. Also, for those who do like listening to Mythology, there's a dude on here from that is named John Solo, if you ever heard of him. He does what's called Messed Up Origins, and he's gotten into a lot of, as of late, he's gotten into Greek mythology, Norse mythology, and certain other fables and fairy tales, and also explaining a lot of things from Disney shows that are reflected from folk tales. So that way you can get your freaking childhoods ruined properly. He ain't never gonna see this, but I plug what I like. So anywho,
nothing wrong with that.
What I was gonna say is continue to support Black businesses, continue to support small businesses, continue to support us. If you love what we do and you like what we do, hit us with a like, hit us with a comment, hit us with a subscription. We're trying to make it to the point where we're actually monetized and we have to give a crap about what YouTube thinks. So please continue to support. Tell your mama, your daddy, your granddaddy, your little cousins that always stay on TikTok, because we don't have TikTok, but we have YouTube, and they like that too. And if they want to talk about something that's not nonsensical, or even something that is, we might happen to chime in if we really feel like it.
Facts.
The babies be listening.
True that. Bless you.
Look, I got a 10-year-old nephew to be checking out the podcast. I mean, he be on it. So look, and he be telling me that he be checking out my music and letting folks know. So yes, the kids do listen.
Yes, they do.
We try to feed the babies and the elders as well.
I just want to add that, today's episode was about stress. I just want to remind y'all to take every day, one big moment at a time.
Absolutely.
Don't overload yourself.
Also, at the same time, because you don't always expect to either exceed or meet your expectations every day. If you do, that's great. But if you don't, that's okay too.
Yeah, it's okay.
One thing I've had to repeat a lot in this last week, not only to myself, but also to others that I've been dealing with, who are very close to me and very near and dear to me, is that everything is a process. And processes are hard. Some processes will suck. Some things will be difficult by design. But at the same time, the quicker you get through it, the easier it is to get to the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and you will get stronger from it. You got to treat it like training. Anybody who is a DBZ fan, what you got to do when you get knocked down, you get up, you start training, you get stronger. Or you get pissed off and the strength comes to you, but you got to maintain that.
And even if you aren't familiar with it in that sense,
right?
Everybody knows that anytime we hear training, at the very least, we know it's something that we have to do what? Get through it.
Yes.
Whether we like it or not, we have to get through it.
And sometimes
in order
it is.
To do the next
Look,
thing.
And sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes it's something you don't like. Sometimes it's something you don't prefer to do.
Sometimes it's cake. Either way,
yeah,
we have to get through it in order to advance.
And that's the important part. The important part is that you get through it. One thing that I've learned, and this will be my final thought, is it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get through something or how hard it was to get through something. What matters is that you got through it.
I agree.
Once again, it does not matter how hard it was to get through something or how long it takes to get through something. It just matters that you got through it. That was your test to pass. That was your thing to get through. That was your issue to mitigate and deal with. And now that's one more thing out of the way. And that's one more thing for you to put in your hat. That's one more hat that you can wear. That's one more thing that you can wear as a badge of honor. Bump what anybody else says about timing. Bump what anybody else says about difficulty because they don't know your life. They don't have your experiences and they don't live in your body every day.
Facts.
That's the bottom line because we said so.
But thanks again, y'all, for joining us on this episode of Black in a Minute.
Seriously, yes, we love.
We really do appreciate it. Be on the lookout for new episodes and new topics. We're always taking suggestions.
Absolutely.
If you guys ever have anything you want to suggest to us, you could do it the hard way and email us, or
you
can comment. You can comment on here.
Drop
you can comment on YouTube.
We love suggestions.
If you know us personally, you can shoot us through the various social media platforms as well. We on there too.
Yes, indeed.
Just hit us up.
Look, I'm going to turn this on up because I'm always personally proud of this one. If you know, you know. And now we got the surround sound. It's going to sound so much better.
But yeah, y'all, we don't get up off here. We're going to still listen to this song because this is the one.
I still got to crank up the bass on that.
Y'all have a good night and thank you for tuning in to the Black in a Minute podcast live stream.
Yep, you are beautiful. You are wonderfully made, and you owe it to yourself to be your best self as much as you can. Peace out.
Power.